Criminal procedure and the constitutional rights of U.S. citizens. The reasonable word is used again when considering how much force the police are allowed to use in making an arrest. Excessive force can render the arrest unreasonable, and the use of deadly force, shooting a person that's trying to run away, climb a wall for example, is not reasonable to stop a fleeing felon unless there's some indication that that person is dangerous. If there are people present when the police are conducting a search with a warrant, what happens to those individuals? Can they be searched? Yes, they can if there's probable cause to search them. Yes, if the search of the individuals is written within the scope of the warrant. But they can't be searched if there's no probable cause, and if it's not written into the warrant. And close proximity, as we mentioned, if a person that's searched in a bar found to have drugs is then people close to that individual are not allowed to be searched under the Fourth Amendment purely because of their close proximity. There's an insufficient probable cause. So what about handcuffing and holding individuals while the search takes place? Well, this is allowed, and the search warrant is implied to carry with it an implicit warrant to hold the occupants while the search takes place. It would make sense because the occupants could move if they were allowed to roam around. They could hide the evidence that the police are searching for. So even innocent people can be held, and there was a case where there were some women that were at a location that was being searched for drugs, and they were detained for 2 hours and handcuffed. And this was found to be reasonable by the Supreme Court. So people that are present at the search can be searched themselves if there's probable cause, or if it's within the scope of the warrant, and they can certainly be handcuffed and held while the search takes place. At arrest in the home. So what can the police do in terms of searching the home without a warrant? So let's say the police have a warrant to arrest an individual, they go to the home, they arrest that individual, then how far are the police allowed to search the home without a search warrant? Well, under the theory that the individual can lunge and pick up a weapon at the arrest, the police are allowed to do an arm span search. It's called a Chimel search. They are allowed to search the immediate area around the place where the arrest takes place, and no more. As we'll see, there are other rules that come out later that allow the police to search for gunmen in closets and things like that. But a total search of the property of the house is not provided within the arrest warrant. If they want to do that, they should generate a search warrant alongside the arrest warrant. When the person is arrested, then the arrest allows for a total search of the person within their pockets, within cigarette packets, and so on. And actually, when the person is booked into jail, there's a second search that's allowed, an inventory search of when the person is booked into jail. So an arrest comes with 1 or possibly 2 full searches of the individual. And the reason for the Chimel search is that the individual could lunge and find a gun and could injure the police officers. So this was supported by the police, and as we'll see, it's been extended to cars and other areas. When arresting an individual in a car, then the Supreme Court has set a clear, flat-out rule following the Chimel concept that the police can search the passenger compartment of the car when making any arrest, either an arrest with a warrant or an arrest without warrant based on probable cause. The theory is that the interior of the car is always within the immediate access of the arrestee, so they could lunge, find a gun, and injure the police officers. So there are certain exigencies assumed in this situation, that the car could be moved and evidence could be removed and so on. This does not authorize a search of the trunk, the theory that the individual could not access the contents of the trunk so quickly and easily if they lunged to get a weapon. Hatchback is considered not to have a trunk, so the back of the hatchback can be searched in this way. Passengers do not have standing to complain and question this. It applies to an arrest like the Chimel search in the home, the Belton search at the arrest incident, at the search incident to arrest of a car is attached to arrest, not just a citation. And the strange thing here is that this is was intended to prevent the lunging defendant from accessing weapons, when in many cases the individual is handcuffed and outside of the car with their hands behind their back and unable to lunge for weapons when the police are conducting this search. But this is a hard and fast rule. The police, when arresting an individual from a car, can search the passenger compartment of the car for guns. Criminal procedure and the constitutional rights of U.S. citizens.